What is up, everybody? My name is Hyken, and this is the glorious Model O minus wireless. Last year we got the wireless Model O, and now we are getting the Model O minus wireless, which is perfect for people like myself that really like wireless mice and small mice. It's an ambidextrous shape, which means that it is perfectly symmetrical minus the side buttons. We only have those on the left side of the mouse for right-handed users. Price-wise, you're looking at $80 plus shipping, which is actually a fairly competitive price point. There's a lot of competition in the $70 to $90 price point, but I think this mouse holds its own pretty well. The mouse weighs in at a very strong 65 grams and features that traditional hex hole design. It also comes in either matte black or matte white. In the box, you get the mouse, the USB Type-C charging cable, a wireless receiver, a dongle for the wireless receiver, a insert, and a manual. An extra set of feet would have been nice. However, because this is a wireless mouse, you won't ever really need to take the feet off to get inside the mouse to paracord it, so I really don't mind the extra set of feet not being present. Now, what's funny about this cable is that it's USB-C, so theoretically you can plug it in either way it's flipped. However, because of these plastic prongs that Glorious has added for extra support, you can't do that. There's a little hex design on the cable, and that needs to be facing up if you want this to get plugged in. Now, obviously, if you're using a different USB Type-C cable, it'll work either way, which is nice, but having to not flip the cable around to make it fit is kind of one of the advantages of USB Type-C. It is more durable and it does charge faster. You still get those benefits. It's just kind of weird that they made it only one-way compatible. The mouse features the industry standard 2.4 GHz wireless connection and Glorious's own BAMF sensor. They made this sensor in collaboration with Pixart, and it definitely feels a whole lot like a Pixart 3370 that you see on a lot of other wireless mice. It goes up to 1000 Hz for the polling rate, which again is pretty standard. As far as sensor performance goes with this mouse, it was absolutely flawless. There was no jittering, no stuttering, nothing like that. It was on par with any wired mouse you throw at it. It's almost 2022 by the time I'm recording this, and wireless mice are on par with wired mice in terms of latency now, if even not a little bit better in some cases, depending on which mice you're comparing. Flicking felt great, tracking felt really precise, my aim labs records have been absolutely smashed thanks to this thing. Really great performance all around. The balance also feels really good. Sometimes with a big internal battery you get kind of weird balance, but that's just not the case here. Speaking of that internal battery, it'll last you for about 71 hours with the RGB turned off. Now, before we get too deep into talking about this shape, I do need to clarify something. This shape is the exact same shape as the Model O, except shrunk down. Measurements will be up on the screen for you right now. Now, this means that it has the same long flat top and long sloping back that the Model O had. Those two things make this mouse really good for grips where your palm is in contact with the mouse. I'm talking palm grip, I'm talking claw grip. This shape is still not great for fingertip grip with small hands, at least. My medium hands were able to do kind of a fingertip claw hybrid grip pretty okay. I obviously must have been doing something right because my aim was fantastic with this mouse. But a pure fingertip grip just isn't going to work great on this mouse because you have a really flat hump. It's a small mouse, so naturally it does lend itself well to fingertip grip depending on the size of your hands. For people like me with medium hands, I think that the back of the mouse is going to be hitting the palm of your hand quite a bit. That's kind of why I had to adapt to a sort of fingertip claw hybrid grip. Palm grip feels really good here with small to medium hands. Tense claw also feels really nice too. I don't love relaxed claw. I think that my hands are just a little bit too big for that. Again, I have medium hands. So small hands, you should be able to get a relaxed claw grip pretty good here. All that being said, I do like this shape. I think that people that want a small mouse with a relatively safe shape that's adaptable to many different grip styles are going to like this shape as well. Just please keep in mind that the top of the mouse is very flat, so you're probably not going to get a ton of support for your palm. Left and right mouse buttons are Glorious switches made in collaboration with Kale, and boy do these blow Omron 20 mils out of the water. Like, it's not even close. They're rated up to 80 million clicks and feel very, very similar to Kale 8.0 switches, which is kind of to be expected given that they are made in collaboration with Kale. They have an incredibly crisp and clear and clicky and tactile feeling to them. I seriously love these switches. There's just about zero pre-travel and very little post-travel. Side buttons also feel really crisp and clear and tactile. However, there is a little bit more pre and post travel than I would like. It gets better or worse depending on where on the actual button you're pressing. Towards the middle is usually the worst part of it on most mice, and this one was no exception to that rule. The scroll wheel click feels just as clicky and satisfying as the other clicks do. Really, really nice job. It's also pretty light to scroll through for those of you that like a lighter scroll wheel. We also have the DPI button up top on this mouse. All right, here's a sound test for everything on this mouse so you can hear it for yourself. Now, Glorious has had quality control issues in the past. However, I can't really speak to those. I can't speak for everyone and their individual experiences with this mouse company. All I can do is review the mouse that I have in my hands. And I'm telling you, this mouse in my hands right now has zero build quality concerns whatsoever. It is rock solid. It's sturdy. You cannot get the side buttons to actuate by pressing right below them, like was an issue on some of their previous mouse releases. Although this has been long since fixed, I just got to check for it now that I know that it's a problem though. There is no alarming bend or flex here either, especially not during regular gaming, and even when I go out of my way to squeeze parts of the mouse that you wouldn't normally be squeezing. Again, this mouse that's here in my room, in my hands, feels great. These PTFE feet are really nice. Combined with the 65-gram weight and these rounded edges that you get on them, they feel absolutely beautiful. You get such a smooth glide out of this mouse. In the Glorious Core software, you've got all your bases covered. You can remap button functions, change the lighting effects and color, edit key bindings, record macros, and change your DPI settings, lift-off distance, debounce time, and polling rate. I have no complaints about this software. It really does everything you need it to. So, would I recommend this mouse? Well, if you have small to medium hands and are looking for a really safe shape, this is a really, really solid wireless option. It'll work with pretty much any grip you throw at it if you have medium hands. My only caveat is that fingertip grip can get a little bit sketchy, and I would definitely stay away from fingertip grip if you have small hands. But other than that, I say go for it. This is a really, really solid option. Some of the best switches I have ever used, a really fantastic sensor, decent battery life. I really had a hard time coming up with some complaints for this mouse. I think that this is another really, really solid entry into the Glorious model whatever product line. The price is on the higher end of what I would consider budget, but for the price, I think that you get really good value. Let me know what you think of this mouse down in the comments section below. I'm really excited to hear from you. All right, everybody, that's gonna go ahead and do it for me today. Thank you very much for watching until the end. I really, really appreciate it. Remember to hit that like button and that subscribe button on your way out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.